Today, we'll be reviewing a show called Club Random. Now, this is a show that's hosted by Bill Maher. You might know Bill Maher from such things as television. And now he's doing his own podcast. And there's no agenda on this show. He just has a guest on, and they chew the shit.
Oh, that they do.
Nothing's off limits.
Nothing is off limits at Club Random. And I'm going to start off because I checked out a couple episodes. One of them was with Chevy Chase. Now, Chevy Chase is known to be an asshole. It's kind of like his thing, you know. I'm a big Chevy Chase fan. I like his movies.
So Bill Maher and Chevy Chase are going to try and out-asshole each other?
Well, that's the funny part about this is it's the boomeristy boomer show anyone has ever seen. And Chevy, at this point, is out of it. I mean, he's close to 80 years old. So, you know, he's still doing it. I wouldn't be in front of a camera at this age personally, but he's still doing it.
By the way, I saw that movie you did with Burt Reynolds. Like, what?
Oh, what the hell was that?
It was called, like, The Last Movie Star.
The Last Laugh? No.
The Last Movie Star, Burt Reynolds.
With Burt Reynolds, yeah.
It was recent. Just before he died, he was basically playing a version of himself. You were his best friend.
He was actually dying during it. It's really,
well,
that's a sad thing to
sadly,
say.
yes.
So Chevy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Chevy was in a movie with Burt Reynolds in 2017.
Yeah.
Chevy's like the co-star of this movie, and he's like, I don't know what that is. And
he's like, I think I see Burt Reynolds standing behind you, Bill. He's beckoning me into the light.
I don't have any idea what it was about him.
You never saw it?
No, I never saw it.
Okay, can I tell you? It's really good. You should see it. It's really good.
So, Chevy has no idea what that movie's about. He's never seen it. He was in it, but he doesn't even know about it.
I want to see this.
So now Bill Maher's going to explain the plot to Chevy. I think he's trying to convince him to go see his own movie or something.
But I'm going to get this out if it kills me, because I really think you'd enjoy this movie. So you're Burt Reynolds' best friend. This was only a few years ago.
Can't be that funny.
It's funny, it's touching, and especially since Burt really did die right afterwards, which is what in Hollywood we call a great ending. It's quite meaningful.
Hi. Yeah.
So Burt he's this old guy, and without you, there's no movie, because you convince him to go to, I think it's Memphis, where they're having a film festival.
What is going on right now? Shouldn't Chevy be explaining this to Bill to promote his movie?
Yeah.
So they need a little bit of direction on this show, because these conversations tend to fall into weird directions.
Grandpa Simpson direction.
Yeah. That's what I was picking up on the episodes that I checked out.
The whole thing has a 2 a.m., end of the night, edge of the bar. You remember that thing from the other day? And then they fall over.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no direction to any of this.
Yeah. What did you pick up on, Crush?
Well, and here's the thing. I kind of like Bill Maher.
I do too.
I mean, his comedy going back to the 80s. He's been doing panel discussions on television for 30 plus years.
Yes.
And I used to love politically correct,
Politically incorrect back
that
was cutting edge back then.
Well,
people didn't do that sort of thing.
It's weird to think about now.
Yeah.
But in the day before the internet, he would have people with different points of view, and then they would talk and make jokes about current events.
Yeah.
But it was actually like watchable. It sounds kind of boring when you bring it up, but like, I don't know, man. I kind of like the guy until I started watching this.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to hold a conversation and that he won't talk over anyone. But that's kind of end of the list for this. There's no reason to go. I watched the episode where he had Kid Rock on.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right. I mean, Kid Rock's a spicy guy and they have differing views. Maybe they'll mix it up a little bit. Here's where the conversation begins. My number one, with Bill not being able to remember shit.
If you recall, it was either that night or the night
Mid-90s.
after. Late 90s, have to be late 90s.
Late 90s?
Yeah.
When was your first album?
My first successful, 1989, but my first successful album, what I'm talking about, was 1998. Devil Without a Cause.
Oh,
So
I have that.
it was right around then.
yeah.
But it was either that night or night after. We ended up going to see Bill Clinton. We had dinner with Gregory Peck, went out to my limo, we smoked a joint.
Who's we?
Me and you. Hey, Stoner.
Really?
Yeah.
We did?
We went out to my limo,
Wait a
smoked a
second.
joint.
That's always good. So So far, let me just recap what we've covered so far. Chevy didn't remember starring in a movie, and Bill Maher didn't remember meeting with Bill Clinton. With Kid Rock.
A president, an Oscar winner, and Kid Rock all got walked into a bar. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
And I tried to block out the memory.
Yeah, obviously.
I was like, I'd rather not remember that.
All right, so I also checked out Gene Simmons. Now, Gene Simmons, unlike the other people on this show, notoriously is always sober. He's never drank. He's never done any drugs. That's kind of his thing. So, I mean, obviously, Bill's very high in this.
Oh my God, is he?
Yeah, he gets very high in these. But it starts off with Gene. Gene's getting older too.
Yeah,
he's a little bit out of it.
The part of the country that's crazy on the left is apoplectic, that you think that there might be a slight more chance that a woman than a man would give birth. Seriously.
Well, I mean, I'm sure some mad scientist someplace can open up a cavity or thing and stick a child in there. But
no, it's not that. It's that people transition so that someone who was born a woman is now, quote unquote, a man. I mean, if you want to identify it, that makes you feel better and it blows your dress up. The new dress you just bought when you became a woman.
In the interest of full disclosure,
you're a
before
woman?
the fact, because our fans run the gamut.
All right. So Gene Simmons didn't understand how a man can be pregnant. He thought it was like some mad scientist thing. I think he's that out of it. He doesn't understand that that's
cutting open a man, biological man, and jamming a live baby into his stomach.
Okay, well then that guy's pregnant. I get it. But other than that, so then as Bill Maher explains to him, well, no, these people are non-binary or they change their gender. So then Gene Simmons has to do some damage control now.
From far left, far right, middle, conservatives, liberals, and there are two different sides to the same coin, and there are many different kinds of Americans, and I fully support all of it. So for the record, I fully support anybody who wants to identify themselves as anything you want to identify. Makes you happy, and then you die. That's all there is. But
great, Senator Pussy, you have my votes.
Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others.
His whole thing is just like, look, if you're in the KISS Army, we're cool.
Right? Yeah. I don't even care if you have boobs and a penis. All your money spends the same at KISS.com.
There's no vaccine mandates in the KISS Army. You don't have to worry about that. Andy, what did you check out, buddy?
Well, obviously, scrolling through, and you see somebody who's not a washed-up has-been, and that's Bert Kreischer.
Oh,
and of course.
Not yet.
He fucking can't ever keep up with any single conversation of what's going on. Bill is talking about how at the age of 66, he maybe doesn't party as much as he used to in clip one here.
It's like you just can't have everything in life, and you can't be 66 and drink a lot.
You do not look 66.
Well, thank you. That's part of the reason. You just can't.
Yeah.
And so, I smoked for 20 years. That was stupid. When I stopped.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
So, you smoke what? Cigarette? No, a fucking brisket, Bert. What do you think I smoked? I was smoking crack for 66. Just fucking try and keep up. But in they really get into all the hot talk that you want to hear about, and that's old guys jacking it in the fucking clip too.
Oh, can't wait.
I thought I'd be done by now. Like when I was a kid, I was like, it'll be out of my system when I'm turning 50, right?
There was decades when I couldn't sleep before I came.
Yeah.
Usually jerking off, sometimes sex, sometimes both. Couldn't get out of bed. Certainly in my 20s, I seem to remember always waking up, jerking off, going back to sleep. This is the life of a comedian.
Yeah.
And then waking up for good. But I'm up, I could jerk off. Now I'm back to sleep. Jerking off makes me sleep.
Please tell me more about your fucking squeegee bit.
Yeah, I want to think about Bill Maher jerking off for sure.
I'm just wondering, does he prepare?
Yeah. And just to cap this segment up, or this portion of it up, of course, Bert can't not rip off a better comedian. He's already been doing it. You saw him do it live, clip 3.
Do you ever do you ever get caught?
No. Caught?
Like walked in on?
No.
Was David tell a joke? my mom walked in on me. I was like, "Help! My hand and dick are fighting." My other hand's distracting my balls the way I like.
He even flubs it at the end. The only way you can get Bill Maher to laugh is to tell a better comedian's jokes.
By the way, if that's Bert's new thing, because as you mentioned, Andy, when we saw Bert, he came out and started doing the act that Dave Attell had just done and got laughs from that. If Bert's thing was just like, here's another joke Dave Attell told me, I'd watch that. I'd check that out. Like, oh, okay. Dave Attell jokes by Bert Kreischer. I'm in. Let's see what that's about. All right, Crouch.
We got into some music criticism. I thought this was good. My number 2, he offers Kid Rock a good compliment.
Like, your last record is fantastic.
Thank you.
And you really know how to, like, make a record.
All right, hold on a second. Is the last record, is that the one with the Let's Go Brandon song?
Yeah, they actually talk about that.
And he's saying that's terrific. That song is so bad.
I couldn't grab it because it's such a mangled conversation. But at one point he goes, "Yes, my music brings people together, and the reason I make music is to unite America into one."
People on the right.
No, just everyone.
Just all the people on the right. He
but
means
also, let's go, Brandon. It's like it's awesome. Yeah.
Sometimes the people on the right, they're like a little more further right and then not so further right, but they all get united onto the right.
Yeah. If you want good seats at a Kid Rock show, sit on the left.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see the stage very easily.
Hang on the ladies' room. Lots of space in there. And the number 3, they start getting into the lyrics, and I just think this is funny. Whenever you start reading someone their own lyrics or their face, it's always good.
In the
That song is funny. The Low Life one about...
Same songwriter with me, by the way. Same guy, John Eddy, that wrote those with me.
Is that the one where you're like, the landlord came for the rent?
Yeah, the rent is due. I spent it all on a kiss tattoo. I take strippers out to breakfast. You can add that to my checklist. I'm a lowlife.
You're right, and there's something in I'm fucking your wife or...
I'm going out with your wife.
So it's like anyone who doesn't laugh at that is an asshole.
Call me an asshole. Boy, oh boy, it doesn't do much for me.
Well, I'll give Bill credit because he's very much part of the Democratic Party. He's very left. I mean, he's been libertarian through his career and things like that. But on this show, he does try to find common ground with everyone. And actually, the conversation he was having with Gene Simmons, because I was all ready for Gene to come in there and start promoting Kiss gear and talking about the website, because notoriously Gene Simmons, when you heard him on the Howard Stern show, he won't answer a question.
Yeah.
He's just in constant promotion mode.
I'd be disappointed if he didn't promote something.
I was surprised because he actually was interesting and they had a decent conversation for a little while.
Talking about you, Hefner, who...
I know that...
Even though he had a lot of fun, really changed what the Germans called zeitgeist.
Yeah, and no kidding. And saying he croaked doesn't alter my opinion that agrees with that. Well, he died, so what?
He passed.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
These are semantics, but I'm not anti-semantic, okay?
Oh, God.
Come on. I got a chuckle out of that one. He was upset because Bill Maher said Hugh Hefner croaked, and he's like, you shouldn't say that. It's very disrespectful. All right, so...
It's disrespectful for that guy.
They find some common ground here because both of these guys have two things in common. They both love fucking, and they love learning.
But I think we're the same in that, like, we like the two, like, premium stimulators in life, which is sex and intellectual stimulation.
I was just about to say, it's this and the schmeckel. That's all there is.
I'm sorry. I just found Gene Simmons actually kind of interesting and compelling. They're talking about Larry Flynt. Now, Larry Flynt in 1978 was gunned down and was in a wheelchair the rest of his life, and his penis didn't work anymore, which is a bummer for a horn dog like Larry Flynt. But it didn't stop him.
I'm just saying he was like at the bachelor party. Okay, I guess I could say this because he wasn't married yet. It was the bachelor party. Although I'm not sure any wife would want to know this. But I do remember this. There was a table. It was like a Lazy Susan table. And there were, I think, 8 women. And they were there with, like, you know, ready to be orally serviced around the table.
So he serviced them, but he didn't get the pleasure. He was pleasuring them.
I'm just saying, if I couldn't feel my dick, I think I'd take up another hobby like bowling or something.
It's a lot like your bachelor party. Now that I think about it.
Cut that part out. This, though, Gene does get upset when he thinks he hears something come out of Bill's mouth that not what he said.
Oh, you're torturing me. I know you know because you're Mr. Sober.
Mr. Celibate?
Mr. Sober.
Sober, yes.
Certainly not Mr. Celibate.
He took offense to that. He's like, what? Yeah. You think I'm fucking right now? Are you kidding me? How dare you say that?
I got a lazy Susan full of women back in my house.
Right.
I got my schmeckle out.
Schmeckle. I have one more clip from this episode, and it's actually during an ad read for Signal Wire. Oh. And I realized that this is the ad copy, but Bill Maher should just say, guys, I'm not reading this.
The OGs at Signal Wire have spent decades solving the most complex and awkward problems in communications. The only thing they can't help you with is when at Christmas your wife wanted a diamond bracelet and you somehow heard that as Dustbuster.
Oof.
Wow.
While we're on the bad ads,
Evening at the Improv called. I watched this joke from 1987 back.
can you hit my number 7? Because I think that there's a couple in here and they're even worse.
Oh, no.
We are brought to you by Signal Wire, the real OGs of software-defined telecom. Have you seen this new horror movie where an abducted teenager receives calls on a broken phone from the murder victims of his deranged captor? Hard to believe because everyone knows kids don't do voice calls anymore.
Zing!
But if you're developing a product or app that features real-time communications like voice or video, and who isn't, Signal Wire can help make sure your user experience doesn't turn into a scary movie. Whether it's voice, messaging, or cutting-edge broadcast quality video, if it has to do with real-time communications, Signal Wire has the APIs, which is a great pickup line if you're at a happy hour at a tech conference. Hey, baby, want to come back to my room and check out my APIs?
Woo! Boy,
There are
that's some
probably
good
people who
shit.
don't even get the joke.
Those kids with their ticking and their talking. I don't even make phone calls anymore.
Why is he allowing that to happen on his show? I know he's not writing that copy, but couldn't he tell them, guys, this is not.
Yeah, it's
This is not
super
good.
cringe. And
Yeah.
it's
Paying for the show. is
Wow,
why.
yeah.
I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but he's basically Chinese here. His eyes are just gone.
My God.
He's in a different time zone.
Why don't you lay off the Asians?
He's having a good time.
Sorry, Chief Wiggum.
Crowd. He's doing all right. What else happened with Bert Kreischer?
Okay, this is pretty funny where Bert Kreischer starts telling his origin story in clip 4.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where did you apply your trade when you started? Where did you hone your craft? Where were you bad?
New York. I started in
New York.
Yeah, I did stand up. I was written up in Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country when I was in college, and I tried stand up once in Tallahassee, and then I'm good. I got to work tonight. I actually brought weed too.
So what?
Who cares how good you are later? Where were you bad? Well, New York, and also here, and also when I work later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing to say. Yeah, I bet when you started, you were really bad at stand-up. Yeah, I still am. You wouldn't believe this, but 30 years later, look what's happening.
Yeah, when are you going to stop starting?
Same old, same old.
And this is another one. In clip 5, I called this one Method Bert Condescending Bill.
Yeah,
I'll take a light.
Oh, so you do want one?
Oh yeah. Just not one of your fucking honkers.
Why? Because you think it'll get you too high to work?
When I get too high,
Define too high to work.
I think in paragraph form, but I can't get it out. Like I have a paragraph idea, and I go, "Oh my God, this is so brilliant," and then I can't get the words to get the paragraph out.
Wow. Just thinking in paragraphs at all is kind of impressive.
Sometimes it's nice to work high or drunk for me because I fuck up my act. And in fucking up my act, I'm forced to write in the moment, and it'll help me take a boring joke and make it better.
It sounds like the beginning of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
What was that?
You know.
Sometimes when I forget the notes that go on a song, I play different notes, and then it's better because of that. That's not how that works. It doesn't get better.
Croach, did you forget that song? No, I was writing on stage.
I'm thinking in paragraph form. Wow, I'm surprised you even know what the word paragraph means. Like, you say the way he's talking to him. Oh, really?
Wow, very impressive.
Yeah.
Wow, Bert.
Deep thoughts.
Well, The fact that Bert isn't funny because he can't get the words out makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was wondering what the reason why he wasn't funny. It's because he doesn't know what words to say that would be funny.
Right.
Makes sense. Anything else from this episode, Andy?
Sure, yeah. Clip 6, they start talking about Bert's movie that is supposedly coming out.
He's promoting The Machine, right?
Right.
Oh, boy.
The first day before shooting. And Rogan's like, man, no one makes movies that go fucking hard. Like, go hard. Like, really, like, if you're making a comedy, you gotta take big swings. And I fucking woke up in a panic, and I was like, our first scene isn't a big swing. And I was like, I fucking started texting the producers. I was like, we need to rewrite it. We need to make it better. We need to, if we're gonna make a movie, if you're gonna see a movie where your favorite comedian is in it,
right.
You want him to punch you in the dick that first scene.
Right.
And so
the whole thing.
We rewrote a lot of it, but we rewrote that first scene. And
So is this out yet?
no.
Oh, so
It's about me and Russia, and we're kind of waiting for this Ukraine.
you happy?
He's buddies with the Russians, and it's like, this might not come out for a while.
People aren't really laughing about Russia right now.
Kind of waiting for the second Cold War to end. Could be 40, 50
I know.
years, but I'll wait it out. That's fine.
I got a Kanye collab I'm sitting on for a little bit. Waiting for things to die down.
But he's just like, oh, Joe Rogan said we got to go hard. I guarantee you he's like fully naked in this scene.
Oh,
I think he's talking about rewriting.
Of course. Also, having no confidence in the script doesn't fill me with confidence that they rewrote it. Now it's better.
Oh,
no.
It's like when Anchorman 2 came out on DVD. Anchorman 2 was such a bad movie. They had to promote it with more jokes. I swear to God.
Yeah.
That was the tagline. It's like, stream Anchorman 2. We put jokes in this one. Well, why did you put him in the first fucking time? I'm not buying it.
Right.
Okay, this one is really going to piss you off, Carl. Clip 7, they start...
It better not be Anchorman 2. 'Cause that sucks.
They try and remember a certain movie, and they fuck it up.
No.
Annuity, that movie that who's this made? Who's the guy? I can't too stoned to think of his name, but he made a movie about a guy who got financing and he was like a nut.
Oh, the escape artist or the
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
James Franco.
Yeah, James Franco.
James Franco.
That James Franco movie, The Escape Artist. Remember that one?
What are they talking about?
The Disaster Artist.
Disaster Artist. Yeah. Holy shit! I should know that.
That's what I thought.
I wasn't
you
following their
remember.
conversation. at
Oh, yeah.
all.
How could you possibly? They
Have a
don't know what
hard
the
time.
fuck they're talking about.
All right.
You got anything else? Croge, I have like one showstopper clip. Do you have anything else you want to cover?
Ooh, he's calling his shot right there. And he's like, oh, don't let me fucking ruin this segment with my closer.
You don't want to follow this. You don't want to follow this clip.
We got into some big questions. Like my number 5, we talk about relationships with Kid Rock.
Oh, good.
I lit a candle last night for Loretta Lynn. Oh, my dear friend who just passed. What a wonderful American.
Really? A dear friend?
We got married in a mock wedding.
I thought that was Pam Anderson.
We got married 4 times because I've always said, I think you'll agree, getting married is a blast. Have you ever been married?
No.
Right. Okay. Getting married is a fucking ball. It was so fun. I did it 4 times. South of France, Beverly Hills, being married sucks.
He's got a point there. The only thing I would say is that you just have to throw a party. You don't have to actually get married each of those times.
Yeah.
No one's like checking the marriage certificate to make sure that it's authentic. Well, why did I come here then?
Yeah.
The band's great, but
She didn't even get half your money. Isn't it fun?
yeah.
We also talked about the big questions of religion, which was my number 6.
Oh, boy.
By the way, I lit the candle last night because my friend was saying he was Jewish. He said he's going to light one for his dad for Yom Kippur.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know shit about that, but I was like, that
Right.
sounds like a cool thing. So I lit one, said a little prayer, and I felt good.
Well,
made me feel good.
Congratulations.
Makes you feel good. Fuck.
Welcome to Judaism, Bob.
It's like that one. My number 8, Kid Rock is going on a long thing here, but he makes 2 opposing points that are both right.
Oh, interesting.
I can't imagine social media shit with kids. Like, it's trying to navigate those waters. And maybe I'm just old. Like, I don't like Elvis shaking his hips. Sometimes when I say shit, I'm like, am I that guy now?
Yes, but you're also correct.
Exactly. Because seriously, I'm now the guy that's like, what the fuck with these young people and this loud ass music? Jesus Christ.
Well, I have a good segue to that because it turns out Chevy Chase is on TikTok.
Oh, that's good.
Now, the person who doesn't know that is Chevy Chase.
What, you do TikTok now, don't you?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No,
Yes, you do. I've
I
seen
don't
it.
follow any of that stuff.
What you do it, you may not follow it. Like,
Maybe I do it, if you pardon the expression.
yes, you definitely do it.
I was just waiting for it to be like, you were great in Fletch. What's a Fletch? What are you talking about? Like, Chevy has no idea anything that he's doing in his life right now or has done, which makes for a very interesting conversation between two gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's surprised by everything.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I'm sorry, I cut you off though, Crow. Where were you going next?
Yeah, well, my very last one from the show is they address the same question that I had, except they don't get anywhere, neither did I. Who the fuck is this for? Like, Bill Maher, he's been on TV for 30 years.
Yeah.
He actually has an internet show that's after his HBO show.
Correct.
They get tons of views. He's already on YouTube. He's already got all the money in the world.
Just the clips from Real Time get millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he could talk to any interesting person he wanted to just through his day job. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, why the fuck is he doing this?
Okay. We're going to get an answer, I hope.
Let's get an answer.
Let's see.
I've been sitting in these chairs or any of these chairs in this room for 20 years doing this. I just recently, made it a podcast, but like this is,
Does that suck having to like, get celebrities, people have?
No, but it's
Because they're like, am I get on the TV show?
Would you and I, somebody I've been love to have gotten to know and have a drink with. Would we have ever done this if there wasn't a business reason to do it? If that's how people like you and I
I'm
are.
a capitalist. I'm with you.
But we do things when there's like that kind of reason to do it. Otherwise, like it would just be so weird. Hey, Bob,
I'll give you this. You got balls to do it because at this point it's not about money.
Not at all.
I get it.
No.
Trust me, I'm right there with it. My jet has 2 middle fingers on the tail.
Right.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Someone just turned off right there. Now, it's funny that you play that clip because the same conversation happened with Gene Simmons. And what I'm realizing, what I'm piecing together now is that Bill Maher is a lonely guy. Now, I know he has a lot of girlfriends and he's constantly getting laid and getting chicks over, but I don't think he actually has relationships with other guys.
Yeah.
Who are his friend. So what he's doing now is he's saying, hey, I'm doing an internet show. Can you come over and we'll talk? Because otherwise, he's not having these conversations. He's not hanging out with anyone at his place.
Interesting.
It's almost like he's buying friends.
Yeah. Or that internet service is paying people to be his friend.
Yeah, something's going on.
That's funny.
All right, let me get back to what was going on with our friend Chevy Chase. So apparently they're talking about a time when Chevy was on the, what show was he on? Tom Snyder. And they're recalling something that he did on that show that was very funny.
Anyway, he said, people say you're going to be the next Cary Grant. And I said, that's crazy. There's nobody like Cary Grant. There will never be another Cary Grant.
Right.
And I understand he was a homo.
Wow. That was back when that was a joke on TV. Just call out a celebrity for being a homo, and it gets big laughs. And
Made me laugh.
that kind of so that segues into, for some reason, Bill Maher just starts talking about the Beatles. And when I say out of nowhere, I mean out of nowhere. And this legitimately is because Bill Maher is pretty stoned on this.
Yeah.
This is legit the Chris Farley show. At this point, I was trying to find the clip. I think the exact same words were used on the Chris Farley show.
No. Remember when they said Paul McCartney was dead? Do you remember that hoax?
I do.
Wasn't that amazing?
I'm Amber. Do you have a member berry drop by there somewhere?
Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Remember Slimy?
So then Chevy Chase, eventually, as this conversation goes on, he goes, wait, why are we talking about the Beatles?
No, but I mean,
Well, Ringo, I mean, as
why
far
are we talking about the Beatles? Son?
why not? Because
All right.
we have no agenda here. Why? What do you have? Something you have to plug something? What do you have Oh, you do have a movie, don't
Maybe
you?
I will. How about this shirt?
Jesus Farmers. Is that what that says? Jesus Farmers?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Who the fuck knows?
See, this is what I assume. I called that clip "Boomer's Got a Boom." This is what I assume my parents, the conversations they're having with their friends at this point. Yeah. Because when I talk to my parents, I have to stop them constantly and say, "What are we talking about? Why did you bring that up?" And then this is the new low of this whole thing because Chevy, I guess, is filming a new movie, but you wouldn't know it.
That's right.
But don't you have a movie with Dan Aykroyd coming up?
Oh yeah, we just shot in Canada.
You just shot it.
Yeah, I mean, literally a week ago I was there.
Don't you agree with Dan Aykroyd? Who? What? Oh yeah, last week. That's right. Now I remember. Holy shit!
Remember what I had for breakfast?
I can't believe that they have Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase making a movie in 2022. What the fuck is that going to be? Can't be good. All right, Andy,
Crazy.
you teased us.
Yeah.
With this showstopper right here.
Are you ready to watch Bill Maher get really uncomfortable? Out of all the people that we've talked about today, you got Chevy Chase, Gene Simmons, Kid Rock. Who would say the most racist thing that would make Bill Maher kind of like take a step back and be like, what the fuck is happening?
Is it Ye?
Bert Kreischer.
Oh, it's Bert Kreischer.
Okay, let's watch Bert Kreischer try and cancel himself at clip 8.
I went and saw Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was a kid. And I find this to be so funny, and no one ever fucking sees the comedy in this. We were in Tampa, and I went with a bunch of dudes, and they said it's such a cool experience. But we went into a bad neighborhood movie theater, so it was like 50 black kids sitting up front. So when the guys came up front to start acting, the black kids just started heckling the Rocky Horror Picture Show actors.
But we're not saying we're black kids is necessarily a bad place, right? Let's get you not canceled.
Okay, yeah, but it was where we went was.
I'm not saying it was a rough neighborhood.
It was a rough neighborhood, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a rough neighborhood. Whatever. I don't know how to talk anymore. I just say the thing that's real.
Okay.
I was tap dancing.
By the way, you're the fucking reason for that. I've been a fan of yours for too long. You've said shit that is so
thank you
real that everyone.
Bill's like, please don't tag me.
He goes, I appreciate that. I appreciate you lumping me into your fucking racist shit. Oh my God.
That reminds you of when Joe Rogan was talking about going to see Planet of the Apes in theaters in a bad neighborhood. He's like, we got out of the car and I thought I was in the Planet of the Apes. It's fucking brutal.
Yet he's number 1 on Spotify and Roseanne is canceled.
Oh my God. He is number 1. And since we brought that up, I have a quick Opie thing that I want to play for you because Opie, he's such a retard. He puts out these little one-off videos, as you know, to promote his show. Oh. And by the way, his strategy is working. I don't know if he's getting the audience he wants, but these videos are getting more and more views.
Really?
Yeah, they're in the hundreds now. He's getting hundreds of views on videos.
Exponentially higher than where it used to be.
Correct. And if Chet Zumach could see those numbers, he'd fucking lose his mind. They're very big for people like that. Wow. But this is just so retarded. He's such an idiot.
Brother Weeze, Ron Bennington, Howard Stern. These guys are better than Joe Rogan.
All right, so that's a little teaser clip. All right, he just said, Brother Weeze is better than Joe Rogan. Let's hear the explanation on this one.
Would you go and do Rogan's podcast? Nah, not at this point.
Would you do Rogan's podcast? The answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Patrick Michael, unless you're that stupid. The answer is always yes. Aren't you trying to build a channel right now, Opie?
He'd push his wife in front of a moving car to get to Joe Rogan's podcast.
I'd push your wife in front of a moving car if I could get on Joe Rogan's podcast. It'd be fucking huge.
It's easy to say that because I'm not even being invited, but I don't really. Yeah. I was thinking about this morning. Joe Rogan. He's not even the best at podcasting or radio, but he's the biggest. He's the biggest. And before you start yapping, He's good, obviously.
Got two cameras now.
I know a ton of guys that are better.
He's doing a 2-shoot from the same angle.
I know.
Yeah, it
He's
really
supposed to
helps.
put the other camera to the side or something. This one's slightly above the other one.
Yeah.
Rather than him. Brother Weeze up there in Rochester.
All right. So I'm going to make a comment right now. So Opie does not listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. Opie's had Joe Rogan on his show back when it was Opie and Anthony, but that's not the same thing that Joe Rogan's doing now. And Opie can't wrap his head around the fact that Joe Rogan's gotten a lot better at broadcasting since that time.
Right.
I was actually just listening to Rogan's show. He had Neil deGrasse Tyson on. And
Again.
it's amazing. Joe Rogan is a wealth of knowledge. And you can say what you want about him. Obviously, he has his flaws. But Neil deGrasse Tyson will just ask him, like, what do you know about reindeer? And Joe Rogan's like, boom, boom, boom. But he knew all these facts about fucking reindeer. He just knows shit. He's a hunter and stuff, so. But Brother Weeze doesn't know anything.
I was going to say.
Brother Weeze is so, he'll admit it too. He's like, brah, I did a lot of drugs. I don't know what's going on,
Right.
brah. I'm out of it.
And also, Opie is not listening to Brother Weeze either, probably.
No.
He's not investing time into paying attention to what Weeze is doing.
But that's what annoys me about this Opie hot take, is that it's so ill-informed.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Brother Weeze couldn't hold a conversation for 3 hours with anyone.
No.
Joe Rogan does it 3 times a week with very random people, very, very different types of people.
I just love that Opie is doing this and calling out people's broadcasts.
I know, that's what's so insane about this. He's putting this out. Name a show better than Joe Rogan is the name of this video. And he says Howard Stern, Ron Bennington, and Brother Weeze. We could make an argument for Howard Stern and Ron Bennington.
Yeah.
Brother Weeze, I mean, what are you talking about?
And I would go with Ron Bennington. As much as I hate his guts, I would go with Howard Stern. These guys are better than Joe Rogan.
How?
But but you can't argue the fact that he's the biggest at it.
See, this is the thing about Opie and his hot takes. He doesn't give any explanation.
Right.
He just makes these statements. You're like, why do you think that? Never, ever once.
Stern is certainly not better than Rogan now.
Oh my God, Howard Stern is unlistenable at this point.
Weeze sucks. Stern sucks.
That's simple math. Who's the biggest at radio and podcasting right now? It's right there. Right there in the stats. You can't argue.
Who's the most embarrassing? It's right there. It's right there.
You're looking at it.
That's black and white. But when it comes to people that have done this their entire lives, like myself, he's not even close to the best at it.
Opie's been doing this since he was 18.
So you are, I see.
Yeah, so obviously he's the one who's the best at it. All right, Opie, if you say so.
Who are these podcasts? WA